Can, whoa. Can we have everybody come in, please? Find your seat. I like a meeting that gets started on time. Okay, my name is Jacob Qualls. I'm the city clerk treasurer for the city of Star. I'm here to kind of let you guys know what's going to happen tonight. The mayor's going to give his speech for probably 30 to 45 minutes and then take a quick break for 15 minutes. And during that time, we have these cards on your seats, and there are pens in front of your, or behind your seats, or in the seat in front of you. Please write questions on those and turn those over to Dana in the back. And during that break time, we will go through those and kind of, everybody knows that they want to talk about roads, but we'll talk about roads together. We do have several sign-up sheets outside. Excuse me. There's a main sign-in sheet just that we're going to kind of like figure out who's here. Then we also have a newsletter sign-up. And if you want to get our newsletter, please sign up, print clearly, better than I can speak. And then we have some volunteer opportunities that the mayor will talk about as well with different committees. And that's simply signing up, putting your email address, and checking a box. So one more thing. The restrooms are back through this door and to the right, if you haven't been in here. Those might be important. That's it, and Mr. Mayor, Trevor Chadwick.
All right. Oh, that was good. I feel like a Tony Robbins or somebody like this speaking, right? We have a great opportunity right here. We have the Heritage Girls that you see over here that are going to present our colors. And we have Mr. Mike right here who's going to do our national anthem with the guitar, probably something that you haven't heard before, which is going to be awesome. So the American Heritage Girls, which all these young ladies belong to right here, is a Christ-centered character and leadership development program for girls. They are dedicated to the mission of building women of integrity through the service of God, family, community, and country. This is Troop ID, right, 0117, right? Was founded in 2019, and they look forward to continuing to make an impact in our community. And these ladies are awesome. They've done quite a few things for our community. So please clap for them. And we're going to turn it over to you ladies to do our color stuff here. Okay?
Color guard attention. Troop attention. Troop salute. Audience, please rise. Those not in uniform, please place your right hand over your heart. Please remove your hats. Color guard, forward march. Color guard, halt. Color guard, advance the colors. Color guard, prepare to post the colors. Color guard, post the colors. Color guard, salute. Please recite the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Now for the national anthem, played by Mike Frizzle. No. Ready to. Color guard reform. Color guard forward march. Color guard halt. Please join in prayer.
Father, we are thankful that we could be here this evening. We thank you for the opportunity to come together as a city, to celebrate our history, to celebrate where we are, and to celebrate our future, and to look at that. We thank you for these kids and what they represent for our future and where we are now. We just pray that as Trevor comes to share with us this evening, that you will speak through him, that you will give him the words to say and the things that are on his heart as the mayor and as the leader of our community. I just pray that you will be with him, be with us as we listen and as we take in the things that he's saying, that we can understand what's being said, and that we can be excited about what the future holds. So once again, we just ask your blessing on tonight, and we pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Color guard dismissed. Troop at ease. Audience, please be seated.
All right. Guys, give these ladies a round of applause, and Mr. Mike as well. Mike has a business called Rising Star Guitar, I think. Is that what it's? That was almost a tongue tripper for me there. But Rising Star Guitar here in Star, so it's awesome having local folks and businesses here supporting us in this endeavor. Hey, Miss Dana, where are you at, Miss Dana? Is the live stream working? Can we double check that? I just want to make certain because someone sent me a message asking if it was working. So while they're working on that, how many got 4 hours tonight? I'm a Mr. Wheelock does. I like to talk and like to speak about things and sometimes go too in depth. My staff said don't go 4 hours. Go an hour if you can. So we're going to try, but I got a lot of things I want to cover, and I want to be able to answer lots of questions from you folks as well. Once Larry gives me the thumbs up, we'll get going on this because we have people that are watching it live stream as well, so I want to make sure that they can see it. So, how's everybody going? Good? Awesome. I'm glad everybody's here and healthy. I know we've had a bout of ugliness here. And you guys see those cards that are on your chairs. Make sure that you write your questions down on that, and we'll give them to staff so we can get those questions answered coming up. So. Technology is awesome when it works, right? Are we not live streaming? Just to make certain, Jacob? We're not. Okay. Oh, about Elliot the elk? How many of you guys know about Elliot the elk? So a couple years ago, we hunt. I like to hunt. We're in Idaho, right? We like to hunt. I do a lot of archery hunting. And a few years ago, I had my brother-in-law call me and say, hey, and he showed up at camp early, hey, there's an elk in our camp. I'm like, what? I said, go get it, right? He goes, there's something wrong with it. And I happened to see a story on the news about Elliot the elk being relocated out of Ola Sweet area up into the Sawtooth Wilderness. And so when I got up to camp with my boys, there was Elliot right there in camp, hanging out. And little did we know at that time that there was a whole array of folks down here in the valley trying to figure out how to get Elliot out of the mountains. The problem with Elliot is when he was a calf, his mama got killed. So some ranchers in the Ola Sweet area were taking care of Elliot as a youngster, and he grew up knowing human interaction, right? And when he got about a year old, he was a little mischievous, and then he took off, and he came back and was a little more mischievous at that ranch. So the fishing game captured him and thinking that they could reintroduce him into a herd, and he would assimilate to that, and he didn't. He didn't even want anything to do with that herd. He wanted everything to do with humans, and so he was in our camp. So needless to say, our 5 days of hunting really wasn't hunting. It was watching Elliot to make sure that he didn't get shot by some other hunter, right? We had people showing up in our camp with hay. Little did they know that you can't bring just hay into the wilderness. You have to have certified weed-free hay, right? We had lots of people in our camp. We could have had a good party out there with all the people that showed up. And then Fish and Game showed up. And during that time frame, my boys built a bond with Elliot. They would walk to the bridge. Elliot would walk with him like a dog, right? And he was a spike bull elk at the time. They would start the four-wheeler. He would run up to the four-wheeler. We went in my brother-in-law's trailer, and we're just talking. And next thing you know, Elliot popped his head through the door of the trailer and tried to walk into it. And we're like, this is just the strangest elk out there, right? But then Fish and Game showed up and was trying to recapture him and find a place to relocate him into some scientific, what? A reserve, yeah. My goodness, brain farts. I hope that didn't happen all night, right? But they came up there. They chased Elliot all over the place, trying to capture them with a net. And I'm like, guys, do you want my boys just to walk them in your trailer? Because, but they didn't want to, so they chased them until they got tired and finally relocated them. I saw a picture here. I don't know if you guys have seen pictures, but he's like this huge 5x5 now down there. And he got relocated to Texas A&M University into their wildlife study program down there. So it was kind of a cool story, and I thought that I paid homage to all the elk gods out there, that maybe every year I could get an elk since we saved one of his babies like that, and I haven't gotten an elk since. So that would have been the easiest one ever, right? Is it good? All right, we're live. Good. So I'm going to, I forgot I got to control this too. All right. So we're here tonight for my State of the City address. It's going to be a little bit different than what, this is the first one we've ever done, I think, in Star. Okay, we have never done one. I've never done one. So it's Trevor's version of the State of the City address. And hopefully we could get a lot of questions answered for everybody and things like that. But there's a few thank yous that I want to put out there. I think my wife's out here. There she is. This is my wife, Amber. You can stand up, Amber. And I mean really stand up. So that's my wife, Amber. I know she didn't sign up for all the craziness that's happened over the last 2 years, but she's been by my side this whole entire time, which I've been very thankful of. And she tries to keep me level-headed and keep me calm when I get frustrated, at some of the stuff that goes on. My kids are not here. They're all adults. They think they got to work and not show up, but that's a good thing. At least they're working, right? And then my parents, my dad, my family's been in politics for a long time in Idaho, and my mom and my dad helped me out in my endeavors. And then Michelle Chadwick is very smart in the political world, and she's helped me out along the way as well, so I want to thank them. I need to thank my current employer. As you guys know, it was a part-time position, but with everything going on, I've been working full-time here, and I've been working full-time at my other job. So I work as an estimator in commercial construction with SBI Contracting. So Steve and Sarah Schaefer, it's a small business that we took it to new heights in 16 years right here, which has been awesome. So I love them to death, and I appreciate the fact that they allowed me to do this, right? And then I think Matt Clifford's here, our new sheriff, guys. If you know our new sheriff, this is Matt Clifford right here. He's a man of integrity and action. And he's got that, we have a beautiful police. We're going to talk about that here. He was the chief of police in Eagle, which we always competed with, right? Right? But that's Matt Clifford. He's a fantastic man. Mary May was going to be here tonight, but she is our ACHD commissioner. I don't know if she's stuck in traffic. Who knows? But she sent me a message that she's not going to make it, so she's going to have to watch it on the live stream. Do we have any other folks come in here tonight that I didn't call out? It's hard to see a little bit up here. Okay, cool. And my staff. We have an amazing staff here at City, and we're going to talk about them a little bit as we go along tonight. And then you guys as citizens, this is important. I've always been an advocate of citizen participation because this is not my city. This is not the council's city. This is all of our city. And so it's important for us in all of our public hearings and in interactions like this that we always get public participation. That's the key, right? I always said I'm not entitled to this job. There's no entitlement, I don't think, in any elected jobs like some people think there are. But I'm only entitled as long as you guys are willing to give me the opportunity and the chance, right? So those are our thank yous. So, again, I'm Mayor Trevor Chadwick. My family is a longtime native, even before the state was a state here. I got family buried in Star Cemetery, at Star Cemetery. I don't want to put any of the closets, things in the closet out there, right? But we got people buried in Star Cemetery. I got people buried in Canyon Hill Cemetery, including my own son, out there in a family plot. My grandma had 4 siblings that died during the flu epidemic in 2 days. So my great-grandpa bought all these plots for the family, and it was a blessing to be able to put them with family. I have a master's, an MBA, and I love my city. We also have, I think Council President Hershey's here. You can stand up there. There's our Council President Hershey. We got Council Member Michael Keys right here. I'm not sure that Council Member Kevin Nielsen, did he get off work yet? Is he here? Or Miss Jennifer? Jennifer? Councilwoman Jennifer Solomon is back there. So every one of these folks that's an elected official, we all have a heart for the city, and we're trying to do the best we can, and we're going to talk about some of that tonight. In our city clerk's office, you saw Jacob Qualls. We had an opening this year for our clerk and treasurer, and we've been absolutely blessed to get Jacob in our staff. He is highly recommended from other cities throughout the state and through the Idaho Association of Cities, Association of Idaho Cities, right? Or Idaho Association of Cities, whatever. One of those two. He does training throughout the state, and he's done some wonderful things for us here in order to get us into the next level as a city to be in operations. We have our Deputy City Clerk and Deputy Treasurer, Meredith Hudson. Is she here? There she's back there at the table back there. And then we have Dana Partridge, my Public Information Officer. If we have media folks that are here, by chance, that want to ask me questions afterwards, get with Dana and we'll set that up. That way you don't have to write your questions on the cards, because I know how the media works, right? On there. So the history of STAR. There's a lot of history here. I want to make sure people understand this. STAR was originally incorporated in 1905. And if you notice that, you know what that building is? That's Bobby Jean's. That's the old trolley house that we had here in STAR. And I think Dana said that STAR sign on there, she knows where that's at, and when we talk about a little bit about historical stuff, we're going to be able to get it for our Historical Society. STAR was unincorporated in 1929 due to the government trying to put a road through the city, and the folks here had nothing to do with that, right? They didn't want to pay the taxes on it. Go figure. So they unincorporated to make the state pay for that in 1929. So that's 24 years. Okay? How many of you were here December 12th, 1997? Anybody? No, actually lived here. Not here in Idaho. Actually lived in STAR. So we've got like 3 people. Okay? STAR reincorporated, believe it or not, I think our city planner, Sean, was part of the Ada County government that helped the reincorporation of our city into a city in 1997 on December 12th. So next year, we're going to be celebrating our 25 years as a city again. And we're going to have a big party on December 12th, is my plan. Dana knows that, so she's got to be planning for it. If you realize, right now, we're exactly 24 years into our second term as a city. At 24 years in the early 1900s, that's when they unincorporated. But we don't have any plans of unincorporating here, right? Our first leadership in this new era, we have Mayor Joseph Watson and those council members there. We had a 6-member council at the time, and then it switched back to 4 for us. And that's a copy of our resolution of becoming a city once again in 1997. We were one of the youngest cities in the state. So, okay? So STAR through the years. Our population, so I met my wife here in STAR in 1993. And we built our first house in 1999 here in STAR. There was about 500 people, 300 to 500 people during that time frame here in STAR. Not very many people, right? Not very many roads. Transportation wasn't an issue. Unless you ran into a horse, right? In 2000, you can see the census had us at 1795, 2010 census at 5793. The 2015 Compass number was 7,900, and our census number last year had us at 11,117. But we feel that that number may not be accurate at all, just because of the nature of how the count was done and the housing stock we had based on the population numbers that they used, which is 2.7 people per unit. And then 2021 Compass has us around 13.4 right now. I think we're probably closer to 14 in my guesstimate based on those numbers. So you can see we've had several growth cycles throughout the years here in our city, all the way from incorporation, right? And a city is designed to be incorporated to provide additional services for the citizens, right? It's a little different than the counties and different than the state. Our city financials, we're very fiscally conservative. We have zero debt. There's no debt in our city. Everything that we've done has been done with cash. We paid our previous administrations have done a fantastic job. They built our city hall all with cash, right? That's fantastic. And that's just the long history that we've had in our city on trying to keep our taxes from the city side down and be responsible. Currently, we have $10 million in our bank accounts as a city, and we have $2 million of that $10 million is park impact fees and ITD proportionate share monies, which we're going to get into a little bit more here later. Okay? Oops, dadgummit. Too quick. Okay, the City of Star Police is Chief Hessing here. So, guys, this is our new police chief, Hessing, in Star. And if you look over to the left, our former police chief, Jake Votes here, who's been promoted as a lieutenant in the Sheriff's Department. Okay? You know, we have in our police force right now, we have 2 detectives, one that does persons crimes and one does property crimes here in the city. We have 8 patrol, well, we will have 8 patrol deputies because we increased our patrol deputies by 2 this year. Currently we have 6, or I think they're waiting for some classes to get done or something before we could add the other 2. I say just steal them from Eagle, right? And they told me not to fall off the stage, and I just about did there, right? And then we also added an administrative assistant to the role up there this year too, because last thing we need is our police officers sitting in here when they need to be out here helping, right? So we got an administrative assistant to help and be the face of the police department if you guys have questions or whatnot here at for our police, okay? Man, we changed the batteries in this thing and it cooks. Okay, calls for service. Part of the reasons why we increased our deputies is you can see our calls for service average over the last 3 years plus what we're projecting for this year. So these calls for service could be for anything, right? The city of Star is fortunate that we don't have the kind of crimes that you see in cities like Caldwell and Napa, which is beautiful, right? And it's part of this policing model that the sheriff's office has put together to be with the citizens and a good citizen policing model, right? So we went from an average of 5,658 calls with an average of 943 per deputy down to, in 2020, about 1,500 calls per deputy in a few short years. That's quite a few. And if you were to take that number and divide it by 6, you actually are going to have about 1,700 calls per deputy this year. So we added 2 more deputies to give us 8, which should drop our average right around 1,200. We don't know what a good number is yet. We're still trying to vet that out as a city. But again, as long as our crimes are of natures that are not violent, I think we're going to be okay for a little bit, right, on that. Then we look at our, oh man. Are you pushing a button too, Larry? Someone's playing tricks on me up there. Okay, officers per 1,000. There's a, and we're trying to, so this is the number of officers, let me get a drink. The number of officers per 1,000 in the city. You know, when you look at CUNA's numbers, we look at about 0.653. Star, we have 0.746. Eagle, 0.812. Middleton, 0.863, all the way down to Napa, where they have 1.25. And some numbers that you look out there, a lot of places like to get to about 1 officer per 1,000 residents. We, again, don't know what a good number is here for Star, and that's something that we're going to be working on and vetting out. It's an interesting number that we're at 0.746, and that's with 8 officers on board. I'm sorry, with adding those 2 extra officers here, okay? And that number for Eagle, I think they added 2 officers as well, I think, right, this year over there. So our policing model is unique. We contract with Ada County Sheriff. City of Eagle contracts with Ada County Sheriff. The City of CUNA contracts with Ada County Sheriff. I think it's a beautiful model. We have the disposal of the entire sheriff's police force and all their facilities at the same contract price if we ever need it. A few years ago, we did have one of those violent activities that happened here that we got all sorts of help from the sheriff's office, which was awesome, right? If a vehicle breaks down, we get a new vehicle. If Lord forbid, one of our officers get hurt, they're able to backfill that, right? So we're not losing a step here. So, and the relationship that we have as a city of Star, we truly believe in our police here, right? Last year, we took a stand on that locally, and that's important because our police are everything here. They help protect us, right? They help keep things in order, and that's an important function. And they do a great job of building that relationship and that trust with the citizens here in Star. The Ada County Sheriff's deputies are deputized currently to be able to, well, and I don't know if it's currently, but they're in the process of being able to provide services on the Canyon County side for us, for the citizens of Star. We are unique as we're also a dual county city. So we have annexed lands in Canyon County, annexed lands in Ada County. Well, when you have the Ada County Sheriff's Department, typically they can't go over there to do stuff, right? But they've worked out an agreement with Canyon County to be able to do stuff within the city of Star over there. We also have prosecution agreements are now in place with Canyon County, an updated one. We had one back in 2006, but they rescinded it because it was so old. None of the people that signed it are anywhere around. And so we renegotiated this contract and now have prosecuting services in Canyon County and prosecuting services obviously in Ada County. So when an officer makes an arrest on the Canyon County side, which is the Canada Road is the line, go figure, right? Canada is the line between the two counties. They have to take those folks when they arrest down to Canyon County Jail in Caldwell. The arresting, if you make an arrest here on the Ada County side, they go to Barrister, right? Here and it's, I think it's about the same distance, right? Pretty close. We haven't taken anybody yet, I don't think, but time will tell, right? And so they've done a great job, our sheriff's office, on working out all these agreements and stuff that we need in place between the two counties and the two organizations. Our Star Fire District, I think I saw Chief Tominski here. Is he here? There he is right there, guys. That's our fire chief, Mr. Greg Tominski. I'm going to tell you what's really cool about our Star Fire. Well, let me, real quick, I'm going to just tell you a story about our police. When we had Ken Ramage here, I don't know if he was by himself or whatnot, but he was our chief years ago. And I'm a guy that really likes fireworks, if you can't tell, right, during the 4th of July. But I like fireworks. So I always used to buy the good aerials. We used to shoot them off like crazy. And I always thought I was going to get in trouble, but I saw Ramage. I said, "What are you going to do when I shoot these off, Chief?" And he goes, "I'm just going to sit down the street and watch." And I was like, this is awesome. I'm in the right place, right? Well, on the same side with our fire district, I remember in the early 2000s when we had some serious brownouts. I can't remember, was that 3, 4-ish, somewhere in there here in our city. But the fire department is so dialed in with our citizens that they knew which folks were elderly and may need help, and they went and make sure they had water and they were cared for, right? That's awesome. I don't think you see that everywhere. Even today, I see people that call the fire department to help out with their smoke alarms, right? I think that's awesome. They go in there and install them. I'm going to have them come and install them. I got some tall roofs, right? So that's a great thing. We have 18 firefighters that man 2 stations. I think, Chief, you just opened up 52, which is on Kingsbury. That fire station was built, I think, in 2010 timeframe, but now he was able to man that to help provide additional services with a cooperation with the city of Middleton Fire District as well. So this one's Station 51, that one's Station 52 out there. With the development over here on Floating Feather, as part of the development, they were required to provide additional land for another fire station in the future. And I believe he has plans to hopefully build a station out there at some time on Floating Feather, which will help reduce some calls and provide additional services in the foothills. So Star Fire District was established in 1953, and they cover 55 square miles. That's a lot of square miles out here, right? But they do a fantastic job. You guys, have you seen the new fire station down the road, right? The great big one? That was a great cooperation between the city of Star and the fire district. The fire district had an opportunity to buy that, but they didn't have the cash initially. So the city jumped in to help buy that because the bank was offering it for great money. That fire station they'll never grow out of, ever. And it's turned into a moneymaker for them as well with the maintenance division that they have. So they maintain fire trucks for other districts throughout the valley. And that's a great tool for us. He was, I think, so in the commercial construction business, I've seen fire station cost upwards of $10 million for a 10,000 square foot fire station to be built. I think you're all in for almost $4.5 million. $93 short of $4 million for that facility, and it's 3 times the size of another fire station. To me, that's government entities working together to make sure it's right for the taxpayers around here. Our Star Fire District a couple years ago, we want to see growth paying for growth. And so we've instituted, well, they did, actually. They put together an impact fee for every house that's being built within the district. They pay every house that's built or every apartment unit that's built has to pay $809 per unit for an impact fee to help facilitate capital improvements, right? There is also a square foot, I can't remember what it is, price on commercial side of that. So that's them looking at growth paying for growth in the future. It can't be used on personnel. It can only be used on new stations and the equipment in that station. And our 3 fire commissioners, I don't know if they're here, but we have Jared Moyle, Tim Murray, and Steve Martin. Are they here? Are they commissioning? Okay, cool. So that's our Star Fire Station. You guys see their beautiful new engine 51? Fantastic piece of equipment. I think at the same time, Middleton Fire got the same thing as well. Not 51, because 51 is better, right, than Middleton. So, okay. Star, sewer, and water. I hear lots of questions about our water and our sewer in our nice little town here. Star, sewer, and water is a very high-tech water and sewer system. So they still got lagoons, but they're moving away from the lagoons to these high-tech self-contained units, basically, which was really interesting to see all the waste go into a garbage can after it goes through all this process. I believe the rates have only increased once in the past 15 years. That's all I can remember it ever increasing. And really, we're paying $65 for unlimited water and sewer. That, to me, is a steal right now, right? The current system, this is a question I get asked a lot. There's over 11,000 connections in the current system. Right now, we've only gone over just over 5,000. So they're only halfway to the capacity of their system with the growth that we've had. Now, when you talk about, I think it's EDUs, right? EDUs, what does EDU stand for again? Yeah, dwelling units, right? A business utilizes different numbers with EDUs. So an Albertsons, for instance, will take up 26 spots. So this Albertsons out here will take up 26 hookups when they hook up. So as we get more commercial, you'll see that number start driving down quite a bit, okay? Our sewage treatment plant is currently going through a $30 million required upgrade over there. I don't know if you guys can see some of the road or some of the building and stuff that's back there. And they're planning on sewer, well, they actually are already working on the sewer lift station at Joplin Road and one down at Kingsbury. And the lift station just brings the sewage back to the plant. That's why you see Star Road closed down right now, right? They're running sewer and water lines down Star Road. And the way that they have to put it under that bridge, they're required to bring it down to one lane. And I know it's painful for everybody, but when it's done, it's going to be a beautiful thing, okay? The more people out of that 11,000 hookups that we have that get hooked up to that system, the better off we all are going to be in the long run as far as paying back that $30 million bond. Because when that bond comes due, you're going to see your rates most likely go up a little bit, okay? And then they also invested in a 1 million gallon storage tank up in the foothills. So we have additional storage water of 1 million gallons up in the foothills if there would ever be a situation that would need that. I believe they're on 3 wells. Is that right, Greg? 3 water wells here for the city? Oh, yeah, Kingsbury. So we'll have 4 out there at Kingsbury. There's growing concerns that I hear from people about groundwater. So what I did here, so this summer, the growth was a concern for me too. So I sat down and I had staff bring every single entity that we deal with into the city hall so we could talk specifically about growth and how our growth could handle this stuff, right? All from our police, even our own police, fire, sewer and water, Intermountain Gas, Idaho Power, school district, all this stuff to talk about this, and this is what we're going to talk about a little bit tonight. So per the Idaho Department of Water Resources, they say that we are positioned very well in the city of Star as far as groundwater goes. I don't know if you guys have ever dug in the ground here a couple feet and see the river of water that we have flowing just underneath the surface. We got a lot of surface water in Star, and what they said is the way the Star is built, it's almost like a tub. It comes right down into Star out here. We have, what they've told us is there is 1,098,700 acre-feet of water inflowing into our aquifer annually through various means, and I'll show you that on a graph here in a minute. But we only have 1,056,000 acre-feet of water exiting that aquifer. So we have a net gain of about 45,000 acre-feet of water currently every year into our aquifer to recharge it. That's a great thing for us, right? So we don't, right now, there is not a water concern as far as municipal water goes, okay? Municipal water is very, very well and good. And when you hear about wells drying up in our valley, it's because they're shallow wells. And when you take away some of the farmland, the shallow aquifers don't fill up. The city of Star's aquifer that they're in, I think, is 300 feet or so deep. We're way down there, okay? And this is this graph right here that talks about the different, the inflows and the outflows. So the inflows into our aquifer is canal seepage, river and stream losses, lake lull, meaning that the water is penetrating the ground and infiltrating into the aquifer from those locations. Underflow, flood irrigation and precipitation. I'm not sure what that is, and septic systems. Believe it or not, our septic systems help recharge our aquifers, right? So every farmhouse or property that's out on 5 acres has a septic system. So if you think that's yucky, that's what's happening is some of that water, but it's clean, right? By the time it penetrates the aquifer, the water has been clean. And then domestic, and here's your outflows. Domestic and industrial withdrawals, municipal irrigation, domestic irrigation, discharge to rivers and drains, agricultural irrigation, rural domestic, and stock watering. If you notice, that's the biggest drawdown of our aquifer is discharges to rivers and drains. What that means is we have a lot of artesian-style wells that are flowing and that water's down there and it's coming out and it's going right into the rivers and those drainage ditches. Over here at Pavilion Park, when we were tiling that ditch, we only dug about 6 inches in the ground and it turned into a river in that ditch. We had to bring in 2 8-inch pumps to pump water out just so we could get the tiling done, which tiling means is you're piping it, right? So there's a lot of groundwater here in the city of Star, so we don't have an issue with water here. I know we've seen some discoloration and stuff like that, and that's a concern in some of these newer areas that have been developed. And a lot of that is just flushing the system and getting it cleared out with all that sediment that's been sitting there for a while. Okay? Then this is the big elephant, transportation. We have a transportation concern. Mary May was here, our commissioner for our area north of Highway 44, on Thursday of last week, and she went, "Oh my!" She didn't realize how painful it is for us to get into our city, and get through our city and get out of our city. But I want to make sure you guys understand something here. At Highway 16 and Highway 44, the traffic counts are about 15,000 vehicle trips per day going east and west. At Canada Road and Highway 44, it's 9,000 vehicle trips per day. So only 6,000 vehicle trips per day are coming out of the city of Star. The other 9,000 vehicle trips per day are coming out of Canyon County, through the county, through Caldwell, and through Middleton. We can't control what happens in those cities and where they drive on these state highways, right? So we have some plans that are in place that we're going to talk about here shortly. So on transportation, we have 3 agencies that serve STAR. The Idaho Transportation Department, which deals with Highway 44, State Street, Highway 16, and Highway 2026. Okay? We have Ada County Highway District that are responsible for all the roads in STAR on the Ada County side, again, that Canada Road divide. And then we have Canyon Highway District 4 on the Canyon County side for STAR city limits that takes care of our roads there. Okay? So Idaho Transportation Department. Over the last, I would say 4 years, we have really developed a really good relationship with Idaho Transportation Department, something that we haven't had for years. Well, ever. And it's no fault to the STAR and the previous leadership. It's more of a challenge with the personalities that you're dealing with in those organizations, and we got some really good ones. But we're really engaged in the last 4 years with ITD because it's important for us. So in April of 2020, when I was on the council before I became mayor, I was working with ITD on what's called a proportionate share. Per state statute, you're not allowed to do impact fees. So an impact fee, right, is like what Star Fire has of $809 per unit. We can't do an impact fee for state highways. However, Caleb, their District 3 engineer who's running it now here in our district, and I found a avenue through the state statute to allow us to collect proportionate share, which is basically having development help pay for state highway improvements within the city or the city planning area of STAR. And so those amounts vary depending on where those developments are at, okay? Right now, I believe we have about $2 million committed to this fund in a short year, right? Which is going to be awesome because we are going to utilize some of those funds, and we've already got an engineer in place to help widen a section of unfunded highway through the city of STAR, which is from Canada Road to Star Road. So the area in front of Albertsons and Pinewood Lakes is going to get widened to 5 lanes. And you're going to see that come out to bid this next spring. That's going to be fantastic as far as mobility on that side of the city, okay? But we have additional projects coming that are funded through ITD. Highway 16, you guys, I don't know, you saw that state legislature allowed them to get more bonding and stuff to pay for that Highway 16 expansion. Right now, what people call the highway to nowhere for so long will actually be a highway to Interstate 84. The beauty of this construction project is we're not going to see any impacts of that construction. We're just going to reap the fruits of the labor when they're done. Because now that what it takes you, 40 minutes to get to Interstate 84 from here, right? It's probably going to take you 4.5 minutes once they get that completed from here. So that's going to increase the city of Star's mobility. The other thing that's going to create, though, is a desire for businesses and things like that to want to build along those corridors where there's access points. Highway 44 and 16 is going to be one of those big access points. Okay? So the next year, and that's taking place from 2022 to 2025. For so long, we didn't even think we would ever see that in our lifetime ever take place, right? So then they're going to expand Highway 44 to 5 lanes between Linder and Highway 16 starting next year. They moved that up a year because they were able to get additional funding through this process. That's a great deal because if we can get people from bottlenecking at Highway 16, that's going to open up some mobility for us. Highway 44 from Highway 16 to Star Road was expected to be funded and paid for in 2024. Ran into a snafu. I'm sorry, Highway 16 to Star Road, right? The city of Middleton, there's what's called an EIS, an environmental impact study that is required to be done on these state highway projects that are funded federally, right? So the city of Middleton just removed their bypass that this study was all based on. So they are, we try to tell them, don't get rid of your bypass, you want it. Look at Eagle. Eagle's bypass works great, right? Your downtown's not congested, it's not crazy. City of Star, we didn't choose to do the bypass years ago, and look where we're stuck with right now, right? And we have no opportunity right now to do a bypass. So since they removed that bypass from their city plans, that threw that funding in a holding pattern. However, because of the relationship that we have, ITD is actually working hard to find additional funding to even try to escalate that up even further right now. So there is a chance that it may not happen at 2024, but there also is a chance that it may start up in 2023, depending on if they could find the funding to widen from Star Road to Highway 16 on 44. If that happens with the project that we're doing with proportionate share money, we'll have a state highway that's 2 lanes in each direction, and we should be able to flow traffic pretty well through there, which I think is a great thing. And then Highway 2026, you saw out here at the Costco facility, when they did all the widening, they used what's called the STARS program. It's a sales tax program that has the private business build. They have to spend $6 million on the highway at minimum. And then they get that paid back in sales tax revenue from their business over a period of time. If you don't know anything, private business can build things a lot cheaper than governments can, right? It's a lot more efficient. So we haven't had that opportunity yet to utilize the STARS program. We kind of got into it late with Albertsons and tried to see if they would do it, but it wasn't funded in their budget to build that store, so it didn't work out for them. Okay, but what and then you have that bottleneck down there on Chinden, you know, between the phases they did from Eagle Road coming west and this one going east, right? But they plan on expanding that and then expanding from here, Highway 16, all the way to the freeway in the future, which is going to create an interesting intersection at Star Road and Chinden, right? They haven't changed it, right? Okay, so it's a continuous flow intersection. The intersection that they were going to build over there at Eagle and 44 is planned to be built up at Star Road and Highway 2026. Going to be interesting how that works, right? The reason they changed that is it created a lot of questions from people, and I'm sure we're going to be the guinea pigs. Who knows, right, when that happens. So we have some good news on the state highway front, right? With our proportionate share money, we're going to be able to do improvements on our state highways at no cost to the taxpayer. It's going to be money that's paid through the development process, right? And then we have projects that are funded through the state, which is fantastic, and that'll help our mobility on there. Okay, we have Ada County Highway District. So this is an organization that I really went after them years ago about not using any impact fee money that they've collected in Star and Star. Then we found out why. Because the city of Star never requested projects to be done, right? Which is a problem. But we've been very active with them the last 3 or 4 years on getting projects programmed in what they call an integrated 5-year work plan. That's how they, and you can only use impact fee monies on bridge work and on arterials, I think, right? And I hope that changes. That means the local roads that we see, ACHD can't use that money on, but it's the arterials. And we've reclassified roads in our city as arterials. We have bridges that need to be done, and so we're going to start seeing some love. They've collected over $11 million in impact fees over the last 5 years from the development in Star. So we're doing everything we can to try to get them to spend that money here in Star versus sending it to Boise or Meridian or wherever for those projects over there. ACHD provides all road improvements, permitting, and maintenance for 5,230 lane miles in our county. I looked this up today just to see, but I can drive to New York City and back and still have 230 extra miles, right, on the number of lane miles that they're responsible for in our county. That's a ton of miles, right? And so some of this we have to just be patient because there's limited funding on what's happening out there. It's not all there. But in high growth areas like Star, the more pressure we put on these folks, the more stuff that we're going to get done here, right? Each new home that's built in Star pays a $3,500 impact fee. That's what I was talking about, the $11 million they collect. That increases usually every year in October 1 by a little bit. I think last year was like $3,200 or $3,300, and it went up to $35. Okay, so we have impact fee money that comes from us in Star. We also have property tax money that goes to ACHD from Star. So there's a lot of funds that are out there that we need to try to get back into our city. So on the 5-year integrated work, oh my goodness, on the 5-year integrated work plan, these are the projects that are programmed for Star right now, and we continue to work on more. So Councilman Keys is the liaison for the transportation committee that we have. We're going to talk about these committees later. And those guys are retired. I think they're all retired, except for Chris. But most of them are retired, and they spend a lot of time trying to help our city get our transportation stuff figured out. Well, true, and they're transportation engineers, and that helps too, right, on there. So if you look up here, in 2023, ACHD is going to do some improvements along Floating Feather Road from Brandon to Hornbeck. In 2023, on Pollard Lane from Floating Feather to Star Middle School, and some of that includes sidewalk improvements and stuff like that. On 2024, they're going to do some bridge work on Munger Road. Same thing, bridge work in 2024 on Floating Feather Road, and in 2025, bridge work again on Brandon Road. Okay, we have a lot of old agricultural style bridges that don't carry cars very well, or pedestrians with cars on there as well. If you guys have noticed, out here on Floating Feather by the cemetery, you'll see a new Floating Feather Road going over to Highway 16. That development was required to build that new road. So that little jog that we take for Floating Feather, the other Floating Feather is going to go away. It's going to be cul-de-sac. It won't be an access point on Highway 16. So this new Floating Feather Road is going to be our way to Highway 16. We as a council, with that same development, held our ground with that developer and required them to leave out space to allow us to get an overpass there with on and off ramps on the Highway 16. Because what ITD does not want on an expressway is any lights, because they want the expressway to continue to flow traffic. And so we held our ground, and they agreed, and ITD designed a shortened on and off ramp system to allow us to have that space for when that comes to fruition, right? That's a great thing. Now we just got to get Eagle on board with that on the other side, right? So it's a lot of negotiation and work being played there. We have other projects to be funded, like more bridges on Canada Road, Star Road from Main Street to Highway 44 also. We've asked for that to be widened down there and put sidewalks, because now we got all sorts of people that are traveling pedestrian-wise down to the river. Okay? On Canyon Highway District 4, the City of Star, what was it, 3 years ago? About 3 years ago, the City of Star joined in with Canyon Highway District 4 and the City of Middleton to create an impact fee program for them. That's important, again, to get development to help pay for this road structure instead of all the existing citizens, right? And so this impact fee, we just signed it, I think, on September 7th of this year. 2 months ago? Signed the agreement. That's all finalized. It was a $100,000 study. We paid $25,000. Middleton paid $25,000, and Canyon Highway District 4 paid the other $50,000 to get that completed. You have to do all this before you can actually charge impact fees. Many projects in our STARS planning area, which we consider our planning area in STAR on the Canyon County side all the way to Kingsbury. We've already annexed in 2006 a large portion of land that goes to Kingsbury. It just has never been developed. So we're already there. Star Sewer and Water is going to Kingsbury, so that's why we're calling out our planning area. The impact fees for the homes on the Canyon County portion in Star are $5,000. You see ACHD's impact fees for homes is $3,500. Canyon County's is $5,000. It's because ACHD's been doing this for years and don't have the volume of projects that are going to be required over there on that side. Excuse me. The City of Star also desires eventually to have a river crossing at Kingsbury in the future. And so we've been working with Canyon Highway District 4, because the more river crossings we get, the less chalked up or congested it gets on the limited river crossings we have going east, right? So between Middleton and Star, which is almost 6 miles, there's no other crossing except for the one in Star and the one in Middleton, okay? Sorry. We're not to the break yet, so you got to wait. Larry, what are we doing? How come I can't get to that? Can you get me to the... Oh, my goodness. Yes. Get me to that slide. Schools. So right now, again, since we're a dual county city, West Ada School District does most of our schooling right now for our children because we don't have very much development yet on the Canyon County side. There's a small portion in Canyon County that's actually in the West Ada School District off of Canada Road, okay? So Star Elementary School currently has an enrollment this year of 664 with a capacity of 650. So they're about 14 over capacity. And we just did that expansion, I think, was a year ago, 2 years ago, was completed over there at Star Elementary, which added 8 classrooms, a gym, a cafeteria, and a music room. Star Middle School, up here off of Pollard, has an enrollment of 859 students with a capacity of 1,000, so they're under that number. And then the students in Star go to the new Hawaii High School that was just opened this year, up off between Black Cat and McDermott, McDermott Road up there. They have a enrollment of 1,495 students with a capacity of 1,800. Some of that's attributed to, I think they only got 18 seniors to decide to go to school there this year because they allow seniors the opportunity to finish out with their current class, right? So next year, I expect that enrollment number is going to go up quite a bit. So now, we're the Hawaii Storm, not the Eagle Mustangs. All my kids went to Eagle, we're Mustangs, but I'm excited about the Storm, right? Okay, I'm going to show you the school master plan that are you clicking it now for me? I'll leave it alone. Okay, except I need my button here. So this is the current Star Middle School right here. The school district already owns over 100 acres out here off of Pollard. This is their future master plan for schools in Star, which includes another elementary school, a high school, and a technical school. I am so excited about the technical school. I can't even begin to tell you how excited I'm about that because I truly believe that we need to get these kids in these programs to be really successful in the future. Both my boys went through the welding and mechanics classes, and I have a 19-year-old that's making a ton of money. No, he's not 19. He just turned 18. That's making a ton of money as a stainless steel welder right now. And I'm like, dude, I wish I was your age making that money, right? So this is a great deal. So I'm excited that we're going to have our own Friday Night Lights, hopefully here at Star, our own sports programs that we can support our children and stuff like that here locally. I put the home of the Cowboys because Star Middle is the Cowboys, so I don't know. Who knows what they're going to call that over there. But it'd be kind of cool, right? It'd be something different out here. So that's their master plan. So Star, our West Ada School District owns all this. They have a plan there for that. They also own that, I think it's 9 acres that's up in front of Roselands off of New Hope. You see that open field there? West Ada owns that. That was a trade that previous councils and stuff did where our Pavilion Park is located off of Star Road, I believe was the original school site. But why put 2 schools within 3 blocks of each other? So our council before did a great job on doing a land swap with that was going to be a park, to make that the school up there and just keep our parks down here, right? We don't know when that's going to get built on. We don't even know if they could even build on it right now because the models that or the footprint that they use doesn't fit. They'll have to do some sort of 2-story building on there. Okay? And then other utilities. Next one. Talk to Idaho Power in great length. What concerned me most is, okay, we're doing all this construction and you're asking us to conserve energy when it's really hot outside. That concerned me a lot. Huh? Well, we'll get the break when the brake slides up. Well, give me just a sec. See, my staff gets on me all the time. Break? Okay, we'll take a break now, I guess. All right. I guess I've been told otherwise. So we'll take a break for about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back in here. Make sure you fill out your cards and throw them back there to the staff.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm between us. How high the mountain I could not climb. In desperation, I turned to heaven and spoke your name into the night. Then through the darkness, your loving kindness tore through the shadows of my soul. The work is finished, the end is written. Jesus Christ, my living hope. Who could imagine so great a mercy? What heart could fathom such boundless grace? The God of ages stepped down from glory
All right, folks, thanks so much. If you want to come and head back to your seats, and Mayor Chadwick's got a quick second half of his presentation that he wants to go over, and then we have received lots of questions, so we certainly want to give the mayor the opportunity to answer those questions. So, Mr. Mayor.
So quick. Nothing like your staff telling you you got diarrhea of the mouth. All right, utilities. Are we skip? We got to go back before the break so we can take another break. Okay, good. So other utilities, so we have Idaho Power. We spoke to them, and they do every 2-year review of their 20-year plan. And so there's not an issue with power. It's just certain times they have to bring in more power, which costs them more money. Intermountain Gas, again, they do a 2-year study for a 5-year plan. There's not any issues. I don't know if recently they ran a whole line to Emmett, so we're good on our side of the valley. And fiber internet, we have an issue with our internet services in our city. It's horrible. But we got a grant last year that started a relationship with a company called Fat Beam, right? It's right up my alley, Fat and Beam, right? But we ran fiber to our Hunters Creek Park and to our River House Park that allows people to utilize that at no cost to them with speeds of 200 up and 200 down wirelessly. That's pretty quick. But they're working on a network throughout the city of Star and for the school districts, and we have required developments to put in fiber conduit in their development so it's not a costly expense later on and allows these guys to bring them in. So that's fantastic for us. Okay, Larry, let's jump to the break. We already did that. Good. Can my development services people stand up? These are the guys that handle all the development stuff that come in. I don't know if they're all here. And if you know anything about it, just so you're aware, we typically get 275 to 300 permits a year, and we had over 700 building permits last year. So that was quite a bit. City planning. These are things that we do as a city council, as a city, that to help plan the city for all this growth. For many years, our plan, we discovered, was pretty inadequate when we had a development come in and an attorney pointed it out. So we did a big upgrade on our comprehensive plan, which is the planning document that tells landowners what land uses are available to them in that planning area. That was done in 2019. We did an update on it last year in 2020, where we reduced the density on properties north of Beacon Light Road, Beacon Light Road and New Hope. And we're going to do additional comp plan updates this December. Our goal is to do these updates yearly so we could try to keep up with the changing times and make adjustments as necessary. We have done a complete city code overhaul in 2020. The code is the meat behind the plan, right? It kind of tells people the expectations of those when they bring them into the city. We're going to do another city code update here this December at the same time as those comp plans. And I encourage you, if you have suggestions or comments or whatnot to that, to send information into our city staff and we can take a look at it, okay? We created what's called an Economic Corridor Access Management Plan, otherwise known as ECAMP. This is our road master plan for the city. The Transportation Department has been working on this. It's a fantastic document. It helps us guide the city and the transportation agencies to see what we want with our roads. And it encompasses the Canyon County and Ada County side. And that was completed, another update on it in September. We have a great south of the river plan that is going to be adopted in December as well. It'll be public hearings and stuff like that. So all that area south of the river, all the way up to Chinden, on both sides of Star Road is going to be part of this plan. And this, I don't know how many, Ryan, did we get 100, 200, 300? How many people made comments? That was a lot. Over 300 comments on that plan, which is great. And then we also have what's called our Central Business District Architectural Overlay. We have a goal of not having hodgepodge development or business development, all these different buildings and stuff like that. And so we have, at the same time as that South of River plan, we ask citizens what they want to see on the facades of these buildings. And it's great architectural features that everybody agreed to. And so that's going to be coming out as well at the same time. And even with the current commercial structures that we have that we're working on, even though we haven't adopted it in our code to make it law, they're actually working with us to try to adjust their models to what we're asking for so we can start seeing that out here in Star, which is rock and timber work and stuff like that. And then we're continuing our master planning in various areas that are expected to be in Star. We have some developers that have large tracts of property that we're asking to sit down at the table and master plan it before it even gets anywhere. So that's the kind of things we're putting in place. Parks and Recreation, we have a Parks and Recreation department. All through last year, we never shut it down, which I think is very important to keep kids active, get people active, and stuff like that. In our recreation department, they do different things like art classes, summer camps, fit and fall classes, health and exercise classes. You can see all the list up there. And our staff, we have Kim Ingraham. I'm not sure if she's here tonight. And then Nick May as her assistant. Our assistants in our recreation program are high school students. I love to get our local kids involved with the other kids in our community and stuff like that. So, in our sports programming, we have things from volleyball, soccer, football. And 2010 is when these programs have started to be created here in Star. And I think Ryan hurt his foot playing softball. He thought he was a Dodger. Oh, they lost, though. So, our sports coordinator is Ron Weston. And again, our sports assistant, she's Brooke Knobloch. She's a fantastic young lady, man. She's got a serious future in her. She is able to handle conflict at a young age, which is awesome because not all adults are very kind sometimes, right? But she's done a great job. I'm excited to see what happens with her in the future. And then our parks and building maintenance area. They're responsible for maintaining our 5 city buildings we have and our 35 acres of current parks. So we have Bob Little, who's our park supervisor and maintenance supervisor, Antonio Scheidez, Lonnie Carlson, and Matt Yoskovich. He's a new one that we hired here, I think it was in August time frame because we needed additional help out on our parks. And I'm going to digress just for a second. I have to. Our parks at Hunters Creek, the grass turned to garbage this year. And it's no fault of any of these guys right here. We had a serious water challenge with some water mains that got broken over there. But they've been working their tail off. They got a lot of it reseeded, and we had the blessing of this bomb cyclone or whatever they're calling it to water those fields since we lost our water. So we're hoping that we're going to get these back. They're going to look good again, I promise you. It's just painful to see that, right, and play on that kind of stuff. So currently our city parks here in Star, our Hunters Creek Complex is 18 acres. We did an improvement. If you guys came out to the 4th of July celebration, you can see what we did with our baseball area, put pathways through it and things like that, added some scoreboards for both the soccer and baseball projects. We have the West Point Park across the street currently where people take their dogs. And we did a Blake Park improvement. I'm big on ADA improvements, making it accessible for everybody. I fully believe that. And Blake Park, we had some challenges getting out of the parking lot into the park. And we made it more usable for all the parents that are taking their kids to the playground with their strollers and stuff. So we have some beautiful concrete in there, shade structures, put a pathway all the way around the park again, and connected it to a neighborhood. The Riverwalk Park is 6.1 acres, which connects you to our River Walk, I guess hence the name. And then we have the River House Park, which I call the River House Park. It's just the 5 acres that the River House has been on. If you haven't been down there, it's a beautiful area. Future parks. Mr. Larry? Okay. We have the River House Pond Park. There's 60 acres that's going to be deeded to the city of Star here in January. We're going through a process of design. There's some question. I've got some emails about what's happening in that park based off this design. Every citizen that lives around those ponds is going to have input in what we do there. That's my goal with that. So we're going to make probably some changes to the one that you've seen come out. When I got it sent to me in emails the first time I saw it, right? So it got released out before we could even look at it. We're doing the dog park over there in the Pavilion Park, which is about 3.5 acres. The goal for that, well, we were hoping to get it done in October, but we ran into some material challenges and flooding challenges with our tiling of our ditch. But we're looking at shortly after Thanksgiving of that park being open, the dog park. It's going to be an awesome park over there. And at the same time, at the Pavilion Park, we're going to try to seed that area and put sprinklers in it so we can start utilizing it because we got lots of sports that need some grass. We're looking at doing a community recreation center. That's going to take, we've been working with some people to talk to them about making donations. My goal, hopefully, is to, again, get that all paid for by others so we don't have to go and ask citizens for a bond to get that. Our dilemma that we're in with our sports programs is we're relying on the school district to utilize their facilities. What's happening is the school district is giving priority to the Y and these other folks, which is pushing us out and making it more difficult for us to run these indoor volleyball, basketball, futsal kind of stuff in the winter. And so we are working on, we have a plan in place, but we're working on getting donors for that. We're also always looking at future land acquisitions, and we're working on a master pathway and trailway system that goes all the way from East Eagle to West Middleton. And that's going to be awesome, utilizing our canal systems and creating pathways there. And we're working with landowners. This is the biggest thing. You know, we get tired of growth, we get frustrated with growth, but yet we don't have any true ways of stopping the growth unless we could get the landowner to put these things into land trusts so they can't be sold for development. We're actually becoming successful with this. I actually had a call today with a property owner of 35 acres that wants to put it all in a land trust so it will never get developed. And then we could create it as a park. So these are ways that we can help try to control some of that growth. Okay? Property taxes. This is the big ugly. I'm actually going to, here in November, I encourage you guys to sign up on the sheets back here, but Miss Dana and I are going to work on some dates in November where we can do because property, it could be a 4-hour class on property taxes so you understand how these work here in our community. But we're going to put some meetings together where we can sit down and talk to that in that more depth for those that are interested. STAR's property tax burden currently is heavy on the residential side. 93% of the property taxes paid in STAR are paid through homeowners, okay? Only 7% through commercial. And so I've been working hard over the last couple of years of being mayor to try to bring in commercial, and I'll show you some really cool successes here shortly on that. A healthy tax ratio, they say, is about 70% residential to 30% commercial. We got lots of, unfortunately, it takes rooftops to get commercial in, right? That's just the reality. They want people there in order to shop, in order to open up businesses, and we're at that point now where they're interested in STAR. Next slide. This is a property tax slide. Oh, guys, just so you're aware, this entire slide deck is going to be put on the STAR website. So I did see some people trying to take pictures of that. You're going to be able to get all this information off the STAR website when Dana posts that. This kind of gives you an idea up here of this is our biggest challenge right now in property taxes is our valuation. You look in 2017, the average valuation in STAR was $241,000 for houses. In 5 short years, it doubled here in STAR. I have been a very vocal person about property taxes with our state legislature. They passed a bill last year which actually harms a lot more cities than it helps, right, and reduce property taxes. But being so vocal, they've invited me to the table, which has been great on a committee, to sit down and talk about the issues with our property taxes when it comes to valuation. We have a challenge in STAR because if you look at this assessed value right here, we went from the bottom on the lowest value properties to the second highest behind Eagle, right? And what happens there is that provides a tax shift amongst the residents of STAR from other residences in the county, and that creates an issue, and that's my big beef. We got to fix our valuation model here in Idaho. And this is just I picked some addresses at random, and you can see their valuation changes. Okay, Larry, next one. To understand property taxes, the city of STAR only levies $1.6 million towards property taxes out of our $12 million budget. That's not very much money when you think about spreading that over all the houses and businesses. We have a total taxable value in STAR. All of our property values equate to $1.7 billion in value. That is incredible. When I first got on city council, our valuations were right around $500 million. We're at $1.7 billion. That is a lot of value in our town. So for property tax customers, this equates to about $91.92 for every $100,000 of taxable value that you pay to the city of Star. When you look at this, every residence in Star has one of these tax districts with them. If you're north of Highway 44, you have 11 tax districts minus Flood Control District 10. If you're south of Highway 44, you typically have Flood Control District 10 in there added to your tax. So if you look down here, what you're paying amongst all these different taxing agencies is per $100,000 is $730 per $100,000 to $721 per $100,000. So you look, Star is maybe 12% of that total. So when we hear people say that Star is just taxing everybody, that's truly not true. Star is only taxing you this, and we're very fiscally conservative. Your issue is primarily with that school district. This is one of the higher tax rates in Ada County. The other challenge we have with property taxes is what we brought up. We have a $1.4 billion surplus in the state of Idaho. That is a ton of money. I went to the legislature and asked them, take $500,000 of that and pay off all the school bonds. You'll drop everybody's property taxes by 30% because over 30% of your taxes come out of school districts in our area. Not every school district, but in our area. Okay? Larry? Okay. So commercial. So I'm excited to tell you that we have Greylock Custom Cabinetry is going to start construction here in November along Highway 16. They are building a 97,000 square foot facility that basically you're going to go online, you can design your cabinets, and the system will start building it here. It's going to be some higher paying jobs. It's a huge win for the city of Star. It's about a $30 million facility that they're going to be building here, right? That's fantastic for a commercial piece of property, okay? Sean Fikes, the owner, is fantastic. Some of his investors wanted him to skimp back on the building design, and you know what he said? Absolutely not. He goes, I am at the gateway of the city of Star, and I want this building to look amazing. And so he's spending extra money to make sure that this commercial piece of property that does custom cabinetry stuff is going to look fantastic. And it's a cool building. And it's going along Highway 16 north of 44. We have Albertsons that's scheduled to be complete in January. I know they're moving along, but they have some, I think, material challenges. And so they have to wait. That's about 63,000 square feet. Les Schwab Tire was built here and completed this year at 10,000. Ridley's commercial buildings. So out in front of Ridley's, these businesses are coming in out in front of Ridley's in their commercial buildings that they're going to start building next week. Okay? So we're going to have Papa Murphy's Pizza, the Tap House Pub and Eatery. Tap House is a business that's in downtown Boise right now, and they're bringing their next facility out here in Star. So for those of you that are in Harrow River that like Tab beer and eats, you got a walking place. That's easy, right? Then we got Fizz Drinks and Desserts, and then another location that they've signed a contract with, but they're not ready to announce their name yet. So you're going to have 4 different style eateries there in that commercial complex. Stonecrest Commercial, which is across the street from Albertsons, they're going to be building some commercial space that's about 15,000 square feet. And then we have Grace Assisted Living is considered commercial, is about an 80,000 square foot facility going off of Bent Lane. Okay, Larry? Existing Star businesses with expansion plans. So the First Service Group, which is Chris and Felicia Todd, are going to be building an 8,700 square foot facility that's going to house them, State Farm, and a company called Green Mountain in there. The Milled Olive, Dan and Angie have acquired land to expand the Milled Olive. That's a cool place, man. I love that place. I just like to eat because there's a lot of pasta in there. Game Face Athletics, they're located over here where the old soil and water was. They currently occupy about 4,000 square feet. They do screen printing, embroidery all over the country and here. Terry and Christina Fesser have acquired land to build their own facility over there as well. Soli's, Tom Maroney, he has acquired land to build some more eatery stuff here in Star, which is awesome. Steve's Auto Care is expanding his facility so he's going to go vertical on his facility so we can add more space because he doesn't have enough room for all the work that's coming through here. So we need to support our local businesses. And there's others, guys. There's other businesses that are home-based businesses. There's other businesses that are looking at expansion. You know, we even have the sushi. Idaho Sushi wants to have their own building instead of being in our snack shack. And then we have future commercial. I got 2 corporate headquarters that we've been talking to that are going to relocate to Star along 44 and 16, which is going to provide about 65,000 square feet of commercial space. And one of them is a really cool corporate place. It's going to be a destination place. I wish I could tell you, but he won't let me tell you. So they'll start building next summer. We have various retail stores going into the Albertsons complex that totals about 100,000 square feet. And then we have other additional eateries, building shells, and professional offices that we've been talking with that are getting ready to do construction here in Star. So all in all, we're going to have close to 300 square feet of added commercial space here in the next year. That's fantastic because we don't have a lot of commercial space. This is what's going to help flip some of the property tax burden from the residents to the commercial side. Okay? Larry? We have all these volunteer committees. I have a mayor's youth council that's back here. I don't know if they're past their bedtime, but these fine young men and women right here, you guys can stand up. We have about 17 in total. These kids do a lot to raise money for scholarships. We have a mayor's youth scholarship fund, and I want to encourage you to make sure that every senior that's in Star, doesn't matter what school they go to, actually applies for these scholarships in March. My goal is to give out all the $25,000 we have, right? We only had, I think, 4 last year apply, which is crazy to me, because they could get up to $1,500 in scholarships for schooling. And it could be technical school, it could be traditional school, it doesn't matter. The Transportation and Pathways Committee right here, they, like we said, those guys are very active. A lot of retired transportation professionals. Councilman Keyes liaisons that, and they're doing a great job for our city. Parks, Art, and Beautification, I think, is Jennifer still back there? Or is she Bill? You moved. She moved. Oh, no, you've always been there. I moved. So the Parks, Art, and Beautification, they work really hard on beautifying our city, right? They do the raking stuff. They put the mural together that's behind on the senior center. They're looking at wraps for electrical boxes. You know, they do rake up Boise. Let's not call us Boise. Rake up Star. They do stuff at the river. I mean, they do a wonderful job on our city. Then we have the Activities Committee, which did a fantastic job on our 4th of July celebration, if you've been there, right? I think that's the greatest celebration we have out here. And that, Dana and Councilman Hershey are on that one. And then I started this historical committee this year. It's very important to me that we get the living word of all of our elders that are from Star and those families so we can preserve that for history in the future. Star Outreach, that's currently in the green old City Hall next to the City Hall. When they get their new facility, our hope is to turn that into our museum over there. Okay? So we have these great service organizations. These guys do a great job in helping our communities in all sorts of ways and shapes and forms. We have the Star Outreach. They serve, I think I was told, they served about 15,000 meals already this year, which is crazy. Star Chamber of Commerce, they do things like the chili feed and stuff, and out there. Star Alliance Club, they're in a little bit of everything. They do a lot of, you see our flags that are out here? They spend the time to change the flags all the time, and they do other fundraising opportunities. Southwest Idaho Business Alliance, they utilize and do the farmer markets, or the Star markets all the time, and they always donate, constantly donating to the different organizations here. And then we got American Legion Post 39 out here, right? These guys are awesome. They're always willing to volunteer for Star. You know, there are color guards for a lot of things in our parades. Their members are Star and Middleton. They're going to create they're adding Star as part of their post here, which is fantastic. So these guys do awesome. So my final thoughts, we have a lot of frustration and stuff going on here. We have some uncivil behavior in my opinion. Hang on, I got to get some water before I can speak. A city doesn't make the people make the city. I truly believe this. How many of you guys have a Jeep? I'm a Jeeper, right? The coolest thing in the world, I think, is when you wave at somebody in a Jeep that you have no idea who they are. And we can make that and continue that. That's right. Well, is it the 2-finger or the 5-finger wave? Just not the one, because then we're in the wrong state, right? But we can be neighborly and friendly and still have disagreements on how things are going. But some of the stuff that we've seen is painful, right? You know, we may come, and I put this on there, we may come from various teams with our own goals, but at the end of the day, we're all citizens of the great city of Star, working together to make Star the best place to live, work, and play. Your council, no matter how, I'm going to just say it, pissed off you are at your council, is doing the things that they legally are required to do with developments. They live here too. So some of the banter and crap that we see on social media here is not fair to them, right? They're doing what they can. All I ever ask everybody, I'm a very, very open mayor. I'm probably the most accessible mayor in this entire valley. Contact me. We'll sit down and talk. Get your neighbors together. I'll come over there to the Lions Den. I don't care. I'll chat. It doesn't matter to me, right? I have no issue with that. But we can work through these challenges. But if we can be a community that can grow and still be neighborly and positive as things happen, but we can still be upset about that. But you know, when I asked everybody, there was only 2 people that were here since December 12, 1997, or 3. Every one of us is part of the growth problem. Every single one of us here. We all moved to Star. We've told people how wonderful it is, and they move here too. We have farmers that don't. Generational farming in our area is going away. It's corporate farming that we're seeing. It's an unfortunate thing. My family has a 1,000-acre ranch between Sun Valley and Shoshone. And we're just thankful that some of my cousins are wanting to run that here in the future. Right? Because what's it going to turn into? Same thing. Right? So we can work together on creating the plans that we want to see, and that's where I want your input. It's very important. That input is important. Because like I said, it's not the 4 council members, myself, or the staff's plan. This is the city's plan. And so I need your guys' help and input on that as well, right? So, you know, and we could be a great city, and we are a great city, and we're an envy to a lot of places right now, just because of who we are and what we believe and the things that we do here, right? Let's keep it that way, okay? So do you got questions? I think that was it. Oh, no, the Mayor's Shining Star Award. I almost forgot about that. Sorry, Dana, my fault. So guess what? We got the first ever Mayor's Shining. We're going to start this. Got a nice little plaque, or not a plaque, but a little trophy here. So I'm going to recognize and present the first annual Mayor's Shining Star Award that recognizes an individual for the service and commitment to the Star community. So this year's recipient is Lieutenant Jake Vogt. So come up here. I know you got to come up here now. And I won't tell you what he'll say to me tomorrow. So Jake came to Star in 2016 as our chief of police. Jake has often told me how unique the citizens of Star are in their overwhelming support of our police. And if that is the case, this is due in large part to his leadership and commitment to the community-based policing that we have. During his 5 years with us, he championed the expansion of our police department to its current team of 8 deputies and 2 detectives. When he wasn't wrestling with badgers, right, he actually grabbed a badger with his bare hands. Now, that's a tough dude right there. He could always be counted on to serve as a judge at any of our local food things. I mean, he's no shy guy to food. Jake was recently promoted to lieutenant and will be working at the Ada County Sheriff's Office in Boise. I had the pleasure of attending a farewell dinner hosted by his deputies, and it's clear that his team not only admires him, but they respect him. It's incredible the respect that I got to call Lieutenant Vogt has with his people. It's awesome. But they also consider him a friend, as do I. We're going to miss you, but we know you have left us in good hands with Chief Hessing. The Sheriff's Department picked the right man for the job when they promoted you, so Godspeed and make us proud. So this is for you, sir. I appreciate everything you've done. Yeah, you betcha. And as you can tell, we love our police here in Star. So, what's the next one? I think that was the end, right? Question and answer session. You got the questions? Oh, you got the microphone? It's not on, I don't think. Back. Well, hang on. We'll put it in the so people can hear online. Well, I spoke all these great things of Jacob as a city clerk and how respected he is. They can't figure out how to do a microphone.
Okay. Oh, are you
Okay.
talking trash?
All right, go ahead.
I'll take you down.
That's right.
Who wants to pay to see that? Okay. Do you want to start with an easy question?
You could, whatever. It doesn't matter.
Okay. What
Throw
time
'em
are
at
we
me.
done?
Huh?
What time are we done?
You know what? Here's the sad thing. I forgot my hearing aids.
What time are we done?
Oh, I don't know. You tell me.
5 minutes ago. Okay. Easy question. What are ITD's plans at Highway 16 and Floating Feather Road?
So ITD's plan at Highway 16 and Floating Feather currently is for with that new expansion is a right in, right out, left in only. There won't be any cross street traffic over there right now until I think we get the overpass. Even when the street comes on the other side, it'll be a right in, right out, left in only. Right? That's a safety issue. When you have people flying 65 miles an hour down that Highway 16, can I just throw these on the ground? Yep. Okay. At Highway 16, it's not a safe thing for crossings there, right? But however, the new location is a lot better than where it's at, where you have the hill blocking your view. Okay?
Okay, and if we don't get to your question, we will be answering them online as well later. More traffic lights on Highway 44.
More traffic lights on 44? So yes, so we're going to have, we're going to have a light at Moyle and 44, which is probably going to go in sooner than later, and a light eventually at Seneca Springs and 44. We did a traffic study last year, and the traffic study indicated that those can handle lights. They're going to be what they call slaved together, so they operate the same, so traffic flows. When Highway 16 and 44 gets done, 16 is going to go over 44, and that light's going away, so it'll be just free-flow traffic at that point.
Okay, here's another good one. How are they going to get 5 lanes through downtown? Are they going to tear down businesses, buildings?
So the question is, how are they going to do 5 lanes in downtown Star? They already have it. I don't know if you guys noticed, there's 2 drive lanes that are just parking areas right now. Originally, that was a concern when they wanted 85 feet from center of roadway. We're like, well, wait a minute, you're taking the road, whatever you're going to do, right up to the doorsteps of the city hall even, right? And so that section in downtown Star is going to stay within the current confines of the sidewalks where they're at, but they have the 5 lanes that are already there.
Okay, why did Star turn down the bypass 20, 30 years ago?
I don't know. I don't know why that was turned down years ago. I wish we had it because we would have some crazy opportunities like Eagle, I think.
Okay, here's a water question. Where is the water from Star Sewer and Water District discharge, and can it be reused?
So the water, I believe, gets I can't remember what canal that gets discharged in. Lawrence Kennedy? It gets discharged in the Lawrence Kennedy Canal. It can be used for irrigation. It's just not potable, right? You know, it could be potable at some point, but I don't know. Not for potable water, not for drinking water, for irrigation water. Right, so you guys have the greenest lawns on the block, right?
Okay, I know a lot more about water and sewer
Yeah,
than I could
I know.
share.
Coming from New Meadows, small town up in Adams County, he ran everything. Sewer, water,
Many hats.
many hats.
Okay, can Star have its own school district similar to Middleton?
Our own school district? Our school districts, we're part of the West Ada School District on the Ada County side. I know we had discussions with Mayor Pierce and I. I'm very transparent, so I'll tell you anything, right? So Mayor Pierce and I had discussions on how could we break away from West Ada and create our own. That is a nightmare. That doesn't work because you would have to buy buildings and do all that kind of stuff. So I think we're stuck with the West Ada School District for quite some time, which if we could get these schools built and stuff, then great. Everybody in the county will pay those taxes on those buildings too, just like us, right? Like we're doing for the other parts of the county.
Cool. I have a question that was for me that I can answer.
What, your question?
No, I've got a question that I can answer.
Oh, okay.
So we're getting a new website.
Oh, yeah.
You guys will see some really cool transparent things in coming weeks and months. Look at the next agenda. If you get it electronically, you can click on the little number, and it'll take you to everything in that packet piece. It'll be way cool. and the calendar will be part of the new website. That unfortunately won't happen until closer to December, but
Right.
it's coming. And somebody had asked about that and the maps and all that. We'll be getting all those updated. My next question, this is
Okay.
my question, easy one.
What?
It's an easy question,
Oh, okay.
okay? Why is everybody in Star so great at waving and letting me into the traffic when the Canyon County people don't?
Because we're awesome. I want to answer something with that too, though. Why do we wave and let people in? It's just because that's who we are, right? I mean, that's just the mentality that we have, and that's what we need to keep here in Star. But speaking of that, along Highway 44, we've asked ITD to go put in the boxes and the no blocking intersection signs on all the intersections along 44, so people can get in and out of their neighborhoods when traffic's backed up, because we're seeing people just block all that in. And then it's a fire and life safety issue, right? If it's blocked up, you can't get your fire trucks, your police cars where we need to get them.
That's all I have for you, but
Is that all the questions?
that's all the ones that
Okay.
time for and that are decent.
Well, I'm gonna-
There were some, I will tell you, there were some really rude ones, and we won't even address those.
Okay. So I want to thank everybody for coming tonight. I appreciate that. We're going to do some other meetings that dive deeper into some of this if you want to be educated on it. I'm going to tell you, when I became mayor, I would never thought I had to deal with the stuff in the last 2 years that we've had to deal with here in Star. That's the craziest thing, right? But I think we've done a good job as a city on trying to manage this and bringing staff in to help us with that. So, but I appreciate you guys. I think my business cards are back there too.
Yeah.
My email address is on there. My cell phone's on there. If you saw my flyers, people were like, well, why are you giving your cell phone out? Well, I passed them out to 5,000 people when I ran my personal cell phone, so it's out there, right? So you can contact me at any time, and I'll meet with you on there.
And if your question was really legitimate, we're going to try and answer those, or have him answer those at another time, either via email.
And we'll
or-
put a Q&A together from the
Yep.
questions and post them on the website too, just so everybody has those answers on there. Okay? I hope it was informative. This was Trevor's way of doing the mayor's, or state of the city. Like I said, we've never done it before. So I truly appreciate everybody here that comes down. So thank you guys, and have a good night. Be safe out there, right? Be safe out there. Is that Hill Street Blues or something?